Good morning and welcome back to another session of Java programming language. In our previous videos, I have discussed uh, many concepts of multi-threading. In the last video, we discussed about various methods which can change the state of thread. Uh, now, think threads run concurrently, and if more than one thread try to access the common code or common area, then there is the chance of conflict. Uh, Let us understand this with a simple analogy. Let us consider a railway track, railway crossing. So, if we consider this common part of railway crossing, this is considered as the critical area, since if we do not ensure mutual exclusion, then there can be collision between the trains. So the one and obvious solution to such problems is mutual exclusion. Mutual exclusion means both the trains should access this area one by one. So we need to lock one way while the another train is in, while the another train is coming. So this is critical section and its solution. We need to enforce the mutual exclusion. So now let us see how can we apply the mutual exclusion in multi-threading. So Java provides us a method, a keyword basically known as synchronized keyword, which ensures the mutual exclusion. So we will see that with one example. But before starting the example, let us understand what we are going to do in the example. So in the example that I am going to show you, I have created a class table which contains a method print table. Basically this print table is used to print the table of input number, and then I have created two threads, thread A and thread B. Both the threads are trying to access the print table method of table class, and both threads will print the table of different numbers. So what will happen if we do not use the synchronized keyword? Suppose thread A tries to print the table of 5 and thread B is trying to print the table of 7. So what should be the output? First table of one number should be printed, and then table of another number should be printed. Otherwise there will be confusion. So I'll show this with the help of example how to use synchronized keyword in that scenario. So I have already coded that in NetBeans. So let us first understand the code. This is our class table, a normal class, in which I have created a method print table which takes an integer number, and this method is printing the table of this number. See, n into I. This I goes from 1 to 10. So this method is simply printing the table of this number n. And then I have created two classes, class A, class B. That means two threads which takes the object of table class and print the table of some number using the print table method. You can see we are printing this, we are invoking this method inside run method. So we know that whatever we write inside run method runs parallelly. So here what we have done in the main method, I have created a object of table class and then supplied this object into both the threads, same object to both the threads, and then started both the threads. So what will happen now, both the threads will try to print this table. Both the threads will try to invoke this method using different values. Thread A used the value 5 and thread B is using this value 7, and both will try to print their numbers, like 5 into 1 is equal to 1 and then 7 into 1 into 1. But what I have did here, I have used the synchronized keyword. Okay, let us first remove this synchronized keyword and see the output. After that we'll see the use of synchronized keyword. Okay, so now you can see what is happening. First 7 printed, then thread 2 is printing 5, then thread 1 is printing 7 into 2 is equal to 14, then table of 5, then again 5, then 7 into 3 21. So this way one might get confused with the values. What is our aim? Our aim is that the tables must be printed sequentially. That means first table of one number should be printed and then table of another number should be printed. So for this what we can do, we can use synchronized keyword here. So what will this synchronized keyword do? Synchronized keyword will basically log this method. So it will be accessed by one thread only at one time. So now if I run it again, first save it, and then now if I run it again, so you can see that first table of 5 get printed, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 up to 50, and then 7, 14, 21 up to 70. So this is the use of synchronized keyword. We should always use synchronized keyword in the situation when 2 or more threads are trying to access some common code, right? So this is how we can use the synchronized keyword. Now this is one part. Now there is one more concept in multi-threading programming known as daemon thread. So let me explain it. Okay, so daemon thread is basically a low priority thread which runs in the background and mostly used to serve the user thread. That means we can consider it as a servant thread which may be used to serve the other important threads. Okay, and we have a method known as setDaemon method, through which we can convert any thread into daemon thread. We can also check whether the running thread is daemon thread or user thread, other normal thread, by using the isDaemon method. So now let us see this practically. Let us create a new project, Java application daemon example. Let us remove the comments. Let us create a class suppose it extends thread and public void run. So inside this we will check whether the running thread is daemon thread or not. If thread dot current thread dot is daemon, then I'll print system dot out dot println daemon thread. Otherwise print system dot out dot println user thread. Okay, now let us create three objects of class A, means three threads. A T1 is equal to new A, then A T2 is equal to new A, and A T3 is equal to new A. Right, and let us convert this T2 into daemon thread. T2 dot set daemon and true. So we have converted this T2 into daemon thread, and now let us invoke the run method using start. T1 dot start, T2 dot start, and T3 dot start. So we have created three threads and converted the and set the one of the threads into daemon thread. Now all the three threads will try to access the run method concurrently, and the output will be we will have three message printed: user thread, daemon thread, and user thread in some order. So let us run it. Okay, so we can see user thread, then daemon thread, and then user thread. If I try to run it again, the output may change: user thread, and daemon thread. So this is all about multi-threading. In the next video we will see some other concept of Java. So it is all for now. Thank you.